welcome back to this week's episode of Youth of Life. We are so excited to have you guys here. So sit back, relax, maybe grab a little snack, and enjoy. And remember, we are Youth Alive.
Hello guys, today in Did You Know, we are going to be learning cool facts about famous painters. And we are going to start with Vincent van Gogh.
Did you know that Vincent van Gogh did almost 900 paintings and 1,100 works on paper during a period of 10 years, which means he had a new artwork every 36 hours. Also, did you know that his famous piece, Starry Night, shows his view on different days and different times of the day? Now let's talk about Pablo Picasso. Did you know that his full name has 23 words? Yes, I know that's a lot. So get ready. This is his full name. Pablo Diego José Francisco de Paula Juan Nepomuceno María de los Remedios Cipriano de la Santísima Trinidad Mártir Patricio Clitio Ruiz y Picasso. That's a pretty long name. Also, on October 25th, what would have been his 140th birthday, a selection of 11 Pablo Picasso's works were auctioned for a total of $110 million. And for our last artist, did you know that in 2015, 89 years after Claude Monet, its famous French painter, passed, a new painting was discovered? So an art dealer in London discovered his new painting behind a paint he bought in an auction a year before.
Alright guys, that's all. I hope you learned something new today, and we'll see you next week. And remember, we are Youth Alive.
Hello and welcome back to this week's segment of Hidden Gems. I am so excited for you guys to tag along and see a little bit of where I'm living at right now. I live near Dallas, Texas, and every single year there is the State Fair of Texas. Now, it's not really a hidden gem for people up here, but it might be a hidden gem for you guys. So I'm bringing you guys along so that you can see the biggest fair in Texas and see what it's all about. Let's go. Once we were at the fair, we got some coupons so that we could ride the tallest Ferris wheel in North America, the Texas Star. The views were absolutely incredible. It shows all of the park and the Dallas skyline. After the Ferris wheel, we had the option of 70 different rides or a million game booths. Okay, maybe exaggerated, but there was a lot. But we decided to go to the rodeo show because every night they have different themes and shows. This night was the Mexican Rodeo Fiesta. They had incredible horse riders, even some singers, and a ton of competitions. I mean, check this out. How did they not run into each other? Also, the horses were super cute. The night ended with a light and fireworks show that was super cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the biggest fair in Texas, and maybe next year you can check it out as well. Remember, it only happens one time a year for 1 month, so keep a lookout for it. And of course, remember, we are Youth Alive.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this week's Youth Alive video. Today, in Upgrade, we're going to continue talking about the images of paint. Remember last week we talked about the furnace? Well, this week we're going to continue talking about these types of images, but we're going to specifically talk about the storm. I want to start off by asking you guys, what do you guys think of when you hear the words storm? Maybe you think of something along the lines of this.
You know, Matt, our truck operator, Tom Bear, said, "Don't you wish you had your weight back?" Right about now, I do.
Valley resident.
I know, it's pretty funny. Those types of storm videos are hilarious, right? But in reality, when you hear the word storm, you might think of things like destruction, like chaos, darkness, a feeling of not being prepared, right? Of unexpected. This metaphor of the storm was used to describe an overwhelming feeling of pain or of darkness that the characters in the Bible or the people in the Bible were going through. But what can we truly learn about the storm? Well, let's begin. First thing that we can learn from the metaphor of the storm is that God is in control of all circumstances. And it's true, right? Because there's some storms that we cannot prepare for. And even if we could, we can't control the storm. But God can. God is the only one that can calm the rain and calm the winds. In Matthew 8:23-27 shows how God can do so. Let's take a look and let's read this verse.
As he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. Suddenly, a violent storm arose on the sea so that the boat was being swamped by the waves. But Jesus kept sleeping. So the disciples came and woke him up, saying, "Lord, save us, we're going to die." He said to them, "Why are you afraid, you of little faith?" And then he got up and rebuked the winds and sea, and there was a great calm. The men were amazed and asked, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and sea obey him."
In this passage, Jesus shows us his power over the storm. And he also reminds us that we cannot lose our faith in the middle of a storm. The second thing that we can learn from the metaphor of the storm is that we have to trust in God's purpose. We have to trust in God's purpose. Sometimes we must go through pain, we must go through tough circumstances to grow. And we cannot lose our faith. We cannot lose our faith if we see a storm coming, or even if we're in the middle of one. We have to remain strong in our faith. And finally, we must learn that God talks to us through the storm. Whenever we're in a storm, we have to be very attentive to God's voice, because that is how we can learn what He's trying to teach us. We always have to ask ourselves, what do I have to learn? What am I meant to learn through the storm? What is God trying to teach me through all this pain and suffering? Last week we talked about Job, and we were talking about how he suffered a lot, right? And his suffering and how he managed that suffering. He faced that suffering through his faith. But also, we learned that in Job 38:1, God speaks to Job. And it says that God speaks to Job through the storm. And that is what we have to learn today. And it is crucial to not lose our faith. We cannot lose our faith, but rather put our faith in God, in His promises, in His teachings. So to recap, first thing is that God has control over your storm. No matter how big the storm is, no matter how hard, how painful, how stressful, how much suffering you're going through, God has control over that storm. Second, we must not lose our faith in the storm, because through our faith, we're able to hear His voice, understand His teachings, and receive His promises. And third, and last but not least, God is always with us. Through every single storm, God is with us. That was it for today's upgrade, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video, and remember, we are Youth Alive.
Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. We hope you had an amazing time here. Don't forget to share with at least one person. We are here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Twitter. And remember, we are Youth Alive.
We're gonna learn cool facts about famous painters. And I don't know why I'm going like this, like this.
Me just pretend